Kwanza mama ukiokera coach.
What are you doing? I was given an opportunity to give the opening remarks.
As I was coming on my way, I had a lot to think about. Most importantly, the last day I stood before students from this university. And I'm going to share that when I open my speech. Once again, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Do you have non-Muslims? Yes. God is good.
All the time.
All the time. Guys, you look very interested. Hello. I'm a businessman. I'm a humanitarian. And I'm the next president of the Republic of Uganda. You people are very lucky. You people are very lucky. And I want this to be put on history, or to be recorded in history, that the 2020
financial literacy is being knowledgeable about managing your finances and how to grow them out of
business.
My name is Midwifery, a student. I do a lot of things. First of all, for starters, I have a business. I think I have a project. Depending on the kind of challenges I faced while I was, I think, 20, I thought, how about maybe when I was 16, and I had someone to tell me some of the things I know now. So I run a project called Ignite Potential Youth Alliance, and we do mentoring, life coaching. I've loved the lady that had something about soft skills. So we do that, but for us, we're looking at school-going students, maybe secondary, primary, and probably we guide them on the life they're yet to experience. And I also have another one I did in undergarments. I have a project, it's called Biz Injury Haven. Anything undergarments. So please guys, support us. You can check us out. TikTok, everywhere. Thank you very much.
So, like I've told you, I have only a few minutes, but I'm going to ensure that I use the few minutes I have to talk about financial literacy. I started my first business in my senior six vacation. And I'm not going to take you to the reasons why I decided to do that, but I'm just going to cut the story short. I come from a very poor family, with a very poor background. But with our poverty, and I'm not trying to insult my parents here, guys, we are learning. There's what we call a poor mindset and a rich mindset. Because poverty is just a situation. Poverty is in the mind. You understand? So when I say you're poor, I'm not saying, I'm not abusing you guys. You understand? But it's just a state of mind. And when it is corrected, when you have financial literacy, when you do things right, you can elevate to a rich mindset. So let me take you through my story. So, like I've told you, I came from a very poor background, raised by a single mother. But in our poverty, my mother could afford to take me to school, just like many of us. You understand? So, I remember I used to see my mother struggling with life to take us to different schools. And there's a time we finished, and by the time I finished, I had to join university. Like I've told you, we are very poor, but we could afford the capital. No, we could afford the tuition. Just like we've been affording school fees for our brothers. So, I was presented an opportunity by a certain friend of our mother to join Kampala University and I'm forgetting the other university, Victoria University, on bursary because it's an organization. But the problem was, yes, we had got the tuition, we had got the opportunity, but when I looked into our background and also the financial muscle of our parents, I realized that I couldn't manage however much my mother wanted it so much. So I decided to step back. And this is what I promised my mother. I looked her straight in the face and I told her, "Mommy, I am not going to go to school right now, but I promise you, I'm going to make money and go back to school. I will sponsor my education and also my brothers." I'm going to cut the story short, but I eventually started my first business and I was supplying juice. And the company was called Mivule Midwifery. So we used to supply juice in secondary schools. We used to supply juice to different events, birthday parties. Then in my second year, I started my second business, money lending. Now you are going to ask me, now why did you get the money? Let me cut the story short. Right now, I'm running 4 companies. I'm doing agroforestry, I am doing money lending, and I'm also in farming. So, I know you're tired. Let me cut the story short. I follow my story, guys. You're not following. But let me be very brief here. So I realized that you can succeed. You understand? So, there's a book called Poor Dad Rich Dad. And that book opened my mind because Robert Kiyosaki, the author of the book, explained the kinds of poverty. He will explain the poverty mindset and the rich mindset. He was not a graduate. I'm not telling you guys to stop from here. He was not a graduate, but he was financially literate. In that book, Poor Dad Rich Dad, the guy also talks about the difference between the poor and the rich. I've told you one difference. I don't know whether you still remember it. So do you still remember the first difference? Who remembers it?
The poor works for money, the rich makes money work for him.
Yeah. Guys, I don't care whether you forget all the words I've said, but at least remember the small principles, just like that one. The rich make money work for them, the poor work for money. And I've given you an example. Companies. You understand? You go back, but you end up you're living paycheck to paycheck. I was reading a certain book and it was talking about that situation of poverty. Salary, even the first week. By the time you get your salary, in the first week, it is done. Rent, landlord, girlfriend, boyfriend, expenses. So, you are living a deficit what? A deficit life. I want you to go back in your dormitories, your bedrooms, wherever you're going. Get a book and write down the expenses you spend in a month. In another column, you write down the income you receive, whether you have a job or you don't have a job. Because I know most of you can say, you're buying a million. Even when you're not having a job, I know you're earning, you're getting some money from maybe a parent. Anyway, not so. We have people who don't receive anything at the end. We have those people. Okay. I'm answering that. Financial literacy. You don't need to first have a job to understand how money works. We want to solve managing even the little you receive, whether from grants, whether from pocket money from your parents. You understand? Then you cannot manage the one you're going to make. There's a certain quote that says, for you to make a million on your account, you have to first make it in your mind. It goes back to my point I was telling you. Please get information. Read about money. Read about how the system works. Because at the end of the day, it's not lack of money that makes us poor. It's lack of information. You understand? It's lack of information. Look at this room. Yes, you can say we are not working because we are students. But we are seeing students who are having businesses. Isn't that lady a student? What's the difference between you and her? It's information. When you get your phones, you scroll, boil your boogie, chicken. I'm not attacking people. But that's what takes your time. If you want to elevate from the level you're on to another level, please get information. A certain friend of mine told me that we are very blessed. We are in a generation where we have everything on our phones. We have everything. Let me get one volunteer. But I have a business. Come with your phone. Guys, please be attentive, yeah? Your names? So for you, you have no business. Okay. What is your dream business? Clothing. Open your TikTok. When you search bar. I'm not going to read what is the search bar, but let me tell you what to put. You put how to start a clothing business in Uganda.
My birthday.
Hey, wow.
So I don't know. So now I'm saying which I want. So we'll go